Good morning and welcome to exam review. This is the practice final numbers 1 through 23. We did 1 and 2 together yesterday in class. I want to draw attention to number 3. If Joji makes 3 times the amount of Masio, and Joji and Masio together make $4,500, we are going to substitute 3M in for J and solve. 3M plus 1M equals 4,500. 4M equals 4,500. So that means that Masio makes 1,125. I want to caution you on these problems. If it asks for how much Jojo made, then you have to say J equals 3 times 1,125. Are you with me? Who did it ask for, Masio or Joji? Okay, so make sure the wrong answer will be there. Okay, number 4. Use elimination to solve. A negative 2x minus 2y equals 4, and a negative x plus 2y equals negative 1. You have to find whether you're going to add or subtract to eliminate. Because negative 2y and positive 2y have the same coefficient, meaning they have the same number, but opposite signs, we add the two equations. A negative 2x plus a negative x is a negative 3x. Negative 2y plus 2y gives me 0, and 4 plus a negative 1 gives me a negative 3. That's an equal sign. 4 plus a negative 1 gives me a positive 3. A negative 3x equals 3. Divide each side, and you get x equals negative 1. To find y, you substitute negative 1 in for x to either the top or bottom equation and solve for y. The ordered pair needs to work in both equations, and it does. Negative 2 times negative 1 is a positive 2 minus 2y equals 4. Subtract 2 from each side. Negative 2y equals 2. Divide each side by negative 2, and you should get y equals negative 1. And your ordered pair is negative 1, negative 1, which is choice A. Does that help you guys? So basically what you could have done was you could have gone back and listened to the lecture on chapter 6 or gone back into your notes as well. Number 5 is a substitution. X equals 2y minus 1. Substitute 2y minus 1 in for x. And when you do, you get 3 times 2y minus 1 minus 3y equals 9. Use the distributive property, and you get y equals 4. So if y equals 4, we can find x easily by plugging 4 in for y. So this becomes x equals 2 times 4, which is 8, minus 1, which is 7. I do want to highly recommend that on a lot of these systems of equations, basically all you have to do is plug in the answer. Are you with me? Yes? I know we spent time yesterday on exponent rules. Does anybody need number 6 or number 7? Number 6 or number 7? For those of you that are watching online, we had some major technology problems. So you are seeing the problem worked out in front of you. I am not explaining every detail, only because our time here is short this morning, and I apologize. Does anybody need number 8? Number 8. The whole key here is everything in the parentheses had to go to the power of 3. 4 to the third power is not 4, but 64. It's also not 12. A lot of people will do that. Okay, number 9. 3 to the 10th over 3 to the 7th is a to the m minus a to the n, or 3 to the third power, and I've also done it visually. Made 3 10s, 10 3s on top, 7 3s on the bottom, and canceled out. Okay, negative exponents. Who needs number 10? Number 10 was a great problem. I'm sure there's one like this on your exam, so you may want to circle it, put a star next to it. 2a over a squared to the negative second power. First of all, let's remember, negative exponents, no can do. Kick that ball and flip it too. So the first thing you want to do is you want to remember that a to the negative n equals 1 over a to the n. 1 over a to the negative n equals a to the n. So you're going to kick it. When you do, the negative sign falls off, and you flip or invert the fraction. So now instead of it being 2a over a squared, it's a squared over 2a, and that whole quantity is squared. Now you take everything in the numerator to the power of 2, a to the 2 times 2, which is a to the 4th, over 2 to the second, a to the second, which is a to the 4th over 4a squared. I highly recommend, because people will still miss it if they don't take the time to prime factor, a times a times a times a over 4 times a times a. These two a's cancel out, and you're left with a squared over 4. Are you guys with me? A squared over 4, and that was choice C. Did that help you guys? Yes? Again, the degree of the polynomial or the degree of a term, you just add up the exponents. The degree of a whole polynomial, you find the degree of each term. The degree that's highest becomes the degree of the whole polynomial. So number 12, 3 plus 2 is 5, 4 and 4 is 8, 4 and 6 is 10. Ask yourself which is the biggest number, 10. That becomes the degree of the polynomial. Number 13, does anybody need 13? Adding like terms. Make sure you write them in descending order, the greatest exponent to the least. Key here on number 14, please pay attention, is you have to distribute that minus sign. That means that everything in parentheses, the sign changes. So the first parentheses is 5a minus 3a squared plus 6a plus 6. Add like terms, and you get 11a minus 3a squared plus 6. Put it in descending order, negative 3a squared plus 11a plus 6, and your answer is C. Again, we went over a lot of similar type problems yesterday. I know this is fast. I'm trying to get this recorded so you can see every problem done. Our technology was out for most of the morning, so I sincerely apologize. Number 15, again, we have a negative sign in front of the parentheses. We must distribute it, so it becomes a negative q squared, a positive 5p, and a minus 7p squared. The correct answer here is D, like dog. Okay, 16, did anybody need help with the polynomial equation? What would have been a good suggestion, since it's a multiple choice, if you didn't know what to do? What could you have done? Yes? Plug each answer back in. And I did spend time, I did this question with you yesterday. Does anybody need 17? 17 is just zippering. It's already factored. Remember, when you zipper, take each factor, set it equal to 0, and solve. You get 2 answers, and they go in set builder notation. Anybody need 18? Actually, that was not our problem. Sorry, 18, this was our problem. 3n plus 6 times the quantity 6n minus 3 equals 0. Write and solve 2 equations. 3n plus 6 equals 0. Subtract 6 from each side. 3n equals negative 6, n equals negative 2. 6n minus 3 equals 0. Add 3 to each side. Divide by 6, n equals 1/2. 19, it's just a straight FOIL. First, outer, inner, last. Make sure you combine terms. Number 20, pay attention. B plus 7 quantity squared means b plus 7 times b plus 7, which is b squared plus 14b plus 49. 6c plus 6 squared, same thing, 6c plus 6 times 6c plus 6. Again, 22 is similar. 4r minus 9 quantity squared is 4r minus 9 times 4r minus 9, or 16r squared minus 72r plus 81. And then I think your last one, 23, was 6c plus 9 times 6c minus 9. This is the difference of 2 squares, and remember, your middle term is going to drop out. I apologize. And your answer is 36c squared minus 54c plus 54c minus 81. These 2 terms drop out, and your answer is 36c squared minus 81, choice A. Okay, guys, thanks for listening today. Have a blessed day.